Hey guys, I'm the 50s kid. Something that's been bugging me for quite a while, I can't set the clock in my car anymore. This is because something breaks inside of the instrument cluster. These two little plastic ears break off, they get brittle with age, so there's really kind of nothing you can do about it unless you replace the cluster. I have another cluster from a junkyard. The thing is, if you just straight up swap it, the mileage is going to be wrong, and there's going to be a little asterisk saying, this is the wrong cluster for this car. Even if you code it, I believe you can't really, you're not able to change the odometer and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the good plastic parts out of this one and transplant them into mine. I already opened this in the junkyard to make sure that those two little things weren't broken off, and they weren't. So let's do it. Let's get started. So how to get the cluster out, you'll see there are these two Phillips screws under there. All you got to do is take those out and the cluster will pop out, and then you just got to unplug the cables from the back of it. They're simple cables. I'll see if I can get a shot of those once I get these bolts out. So those screws are actually Torx, by the way, T20s. I was having trouble with them at first because I had a Phillips screwdriver. So it just kind of pulls out. Nothing else needs to get pulled out first. And then we just have all those cables on the back like that. And you just we're gonna reach back in there and see what we can do. Just kind of feel for the things. I'm gonna get them off first, and then I'll show you kind of how they come off. Yeah, these are definitely overly difficult to get out. These are the little swinging ones. Yeah, so this is what these are, and when they're in, they're clipped down like this, okay? And there's a little catch that you have to push in, which is right here. So you got to push that in, and then swing the black thing. Push that in with your fingernail, swing the black thing up, and then it pops out. Same thing on that one. That's it, just two of those. So one thing that already worries me is that the backs are different. The thing I don't know is, did they upgrade this at some point? I pulled this out of, I think, a 2005 or something like that. That's what was in the junkyard. So mine's a 2002. These are T10s. They're just these little bolts here. Little screws. So this one is mine, the old one, the broken one. You can hear that it's broken. Okay, so that just comes off, no problem. Now if I remember, which I don't, what do we do? Oh yeah, we just pull that back. Okay, hold one. So what's different, or what's broken, is that these two yellow, see these two little things sticking up? You can see the actual buttons back in there. They're supposed to be like little plastic that goes over those buttons, so that when you actually turn one of these knobs, see how there are two little ears sticking out one of the knobs? So those ears are supposed to rotate and then push the yellow plastic down and push the button down, but they're broken off. I'm trying to see if I can find them. I wonder, here, this is supposed to go on here. They might be sort of inside of this whole plastic and stuff. And I don't think there's any need to try to take this whole thing apart. So the question is, well, actually, I guess we need to, don't we? We're going to need to pull this apart and swap it over. And I guess to do that, we're going to need to pull off each one of these. Man, listen to that. All kinds of things running around in there. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to pull off the knobs in order to just get the white plastic off. So I'm going to attempt to do that, and I just really hope I don't break anything. You know what? Let's let's do it on the other one first, because if we break it, then no harm done. But if I break this one, then harm done. Okay. Put this aside and we'll take the old one apart and see if we can kind of get it out safely. Here's what I'm talking about. You can see those two little ears right there sticking out. That's what we need. So it looks like these little covers just stayed behind in there. That's fine. I'm gonna see if it's possible to pull these off without breaking anything. That's my concern. I just don't want to break anything. All right, yeah, not too bad. Just pull out on it. It's a little metal rod on the inside, little plastic thing that goes over it. So I think ideally we need to make sure we know the default position of all of these so that we put them back on where they're supposed to be. Obviously they're just, each one's at 0. I wonder if there's an index on them at all. Yeah, I don't think there's an index on them, and that's the thing. So if you take them off and put them back on the wrong way, they're just wrong. There's definitely a little stop. You can feel a little stop. Okay, that's kind of our stopping position. You can see a little notch down there. Okay. I'm going to get these in order too. I mean, yes, this is the donor one, but I still want to make sure that I don't mess it up. Why? I don't know. Just 'cause. Oh. Hurts. Okay. I'm sure there are probably kits out there that swap this background for something else, something a little more stylish or something. Yeah, all we really want is this plastic. So it's looking like we have to pull these metal covers off. Might need to go get a screwdriver. Oh no, okay. Nice. That one's on the side. Woo, and it goes flying. I'm kind of unfamiliar with these screens, these little displays and how they work and stuff. It's obviously not actually firmly attached, okay? And I am thinking, when I've been kind of messing around with this and playing around with this, if I touch it in a certain spot, I can see the pixels sort of light up and such. So I don't know if I'm damaging it or whatnot. So I think I'm going to just take this off. I need to put this so it doesn't get dirty. Here, let's use this. I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to just practice. I'm going to take the white plastic off, put it back on, put these displays back on and kind of clip them in place and go plug this in and see if it still lights up properly. Because if I'm breaking it by just pulling these off of here, I don't want to do that on mine. But it looks like all you do is just pull this off. It's just sort of, you know, there's no glue, there's no nothing, it's just sitting on there. Kind of like that, right? Okay. So now that we know that's how we take it off, I'm not going to put the dials back in, but I'm just going to put this back on. Yeah. Put that back on like that. That is obviously how it gets the electricity and such, because I'm seeing these pixels light up when I put these back on. I'm a little more familiar with, you know, LCD displays that solder onto boards. I think I've seen these before, but I honestly don't know what you call them. So let's pretend that we just swapped this over. I can just go plug this in, turn the ignition on, and see what happens. Yeah, they work just fine. Super bright, everything was fine. So I'm gonna go ahead, take this back apart, and we'll swap it over. So that's starting position for everything. Just wanna make sure that I get everything right, especially the speedometer and the tachometer. So you can see we're not quite on 0. We're just a little bit before it, right there. And then the same thing for the speedometer. It's just a little bit past. I guess that's my 5 mile an hour. So right there, just a little bit past it. The rest I don't really care about, but I do care about it. I wish they had indexes on them so that you couldn't get them wrong. So I'm going to lay it down like that. Okay, that one came off like that. And this one, the back one, came off as well. So I can't possibly get mixed up on which screen's which, although I don't think it would matter. Aha! And we found one of our broken parts right here. Yep. The other one's probably somewhere. Who knows? Who knows? So this is going to go up here, and this is going to come over here. There we go. Let's put the screen in first. Okay. Pop the little screen in. Didn't snap yet. Hang on. Something is not quite aligned properly. Okay. Now it is. Now it's snapped on. Get that on. I'm betting you don't want this to be all the way touching the back. I didn't actually notice how it was. So that's too far down. It's about right there. I think, no, it was actually a little bit higher. See, if I get this wrong, then my speed is always going to be off. What do you think, guys? Is that about where it was? I think it was slightly, if I look at it straight on. Yeah, I think it was right about there. Yeah. Hopefully right about there. About there. I think it might have been slightly higher. What I'm doing is I'm sort of starting up here, I'm going like that, the motor will hit its stop, and then I'm just kind of eyeballing exactly where I want to start pushing it on. Yeah, I think that's where I had it before. Looks like there's no stop on the other side. So right about there. And if you break any one of these, you got your your replacements right there ready to go. And that's it, man. We're good now. So it turns out I lost audio on this final part of the reassembly, so I'm just shooting this again, and I'm using the leftover cluster because my one is actually already back in the car. So the way you do this final part of the assembly is actually you need to do the first part of the assembly correctly. What you need to do before you even take the thing apart is you want to pull these off. Pull the little knobs out from the front, and we'll install those last. What you actually want to do is pull these guys out, and we're going to put them down in here first. Now you see how there are three little legs right here? There's this one sticking down. That actually needs to go down like this because there's a button down there. That's the button, when you just press this thing straight in, that's the button that clicks. And then of course, when you turn this sideways, it presses those buttons. So the same goes for both sides. This side doesn't turn, so you can see that it's just kind of locked in there. It doesn't turn, but there is a button down there. You can see right down there. So there is a button on this side when you press it. So you have to put those in the right way. And then you've got these little panels. They go here. I've already actually kind of damaged this one because I kind of put it together incorrectly in the junkyard, and this was off alignment, so I kind of ended up pressing a little, it wasn't quite aligned correctly. So you want to make sure that you got it aligned correctly. You can see there's already a punched out hole, and there's a little tab right there where you have to get it in, and the same goes for over here. You can see the tip of this is broken off, so make sure you don't break yours off. And the little index one is broken off right here. Again, because I had this one installed incorrectly, it was moved over here and I couldn't see it in the junkyard. So that one is not aligned correctly, but you want to make sure you've got this aligned and pressed down on your two little index marks right there. And then you're just going to go ahead and lower this on. Make sure you get the little things aligned in the holes. You lower it on, and that's how you do it, okay? That's how you get it back together. So then you can turn this over, just put the cover on. We'll put the cover on like that, like so. Get our screws back in. And I'm gonna be real ginger with this. See, I can feel when it's tight. I can see and I can feel. Not all of us have Torx screwdrivers. They would be the ideal thing for this. But if you have these 1/4 inch sockets, like a 1/4 inch T10. So to finish up, all we have to do is take the knobs, pop them back in, like so. Make sure everything clicks. We're ready to reinstall this one on the car. Well, there we go. I got a clock. I can set it. I can change it. Pretty awesome, man. That problem is solved. It's actually 4:13. Man, you don't know how annoying it was just not having a clock on this radio or anything. I just always having to pull out my phone every time anybody was in here. Like, what time is it? I don't know. Check your phone. So, all right, we won't have to do that anymore. That's pretty cool. So that's it, guys. Problem solved. Maybe you can do the same thing. Go to your local junkyard, pull one out, and take it apart in the junkyard. Make sure it's not broken. And there you go. This is how you fix it. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'm the 50s Kid. Thanks a lot for watching.